go here. I was telling you, this says we are live, so I'm trusting it that we are live. Hello, family. How are you? Happy Thursday. I hope you got my message that we were going to be going live with Mr. Matt Day. You guys are in for a real treat, and especially given the times that we're in right now. I first of all want to say I'm sending you positive energy no matter where you are. I hope that you are doing absolutely fantabulous. If that's such a word, if not, I just made it up and it's a word now. I hope you're doing fantabulous. I know that we are in some very, very unprecedented times, and it seems like that word is becoming more of the norm than I'd like for it to be. But one of the things that I'm confident in is that there's one thing we can always count on, and the thing that we can count on is change. Change is constant. And we need to be able to be flexible with things as they're coming at us. We need to be able to reinvent ourselves or transform ourselves. And I want to be here today to give you some of those tools. For those of you who are new to the platform, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Tag a friend, call somebody. Do not do this alone. This is an opportunity for us to share. I also am so excited to share with you Matt Day, founder of Planter Day, who is here with us today, who's going to be sharing some tips and tricks with us to help us to sustain ourselves as we go through these turbulent times. So first of all, I want to ask anybody out there listening, can you hear me? Just let me know, can you hear me? I'm on live. I'm getting text messages. I want to say, can you hear me? Just let me know. Just say, yes, Cheryl, we can hear you. I appreciate that. Just let me know that we're on. I have been on these calls at prior times where you can't hear me. And then unfortunately, that's not good. But that it says that we're on live. I just hope everyone can hear. And for those, please do, again, share, tag somebody. I am going to just really quickly, Matt, because I want to make sure we get as many people as possible. So just bear with me. I'm sharing with as many people as I possibly can myself. How about that? If they're not going to share, then I'm going to share. How about that? I want people to be blessed. I want people to be able to truly hear from this amazing gentleman that we're about to share with you. Okay, Matt, I think I've shared with enough platforms here. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to say to those of you, again, who are joining for the first time, welcome. For those of you who've been here, thank you for supporting me. I so appreciate you. This is the hottest platform on the planet, if you didn't know. My name is Cheryl Grant, and welcome to Fit Live. We're here to highlight the real journeys, triumphs of individuals, professionals, and entrepreneurs from around the globe. Getting fit. This platform is about being fit. Getting fit is more than a physical process. It's a roadmap for getting into a mental space and shape to developing the faith and intuition and tenacity necessary to propel you toward your own success, not only in business, but in life. So the question I ask you, are you ready to get fit? If you are ready, you came to the right place. This is the place for you. The gentleman that I'm about to introduce you to, Matt Day. Matt Day was born and raised here in the Bay Area. From a 9 to 5, he works as a recruiter at a mental health company. And my 5 to 9 is CEO of Planter Day. He lost his father to suicide when he was 9 years old. And my mother, who was an elementary school teacher at the time, raised him and his brother on her own after that period of time. She eventually became an entrepreneur and taught Matt more about life and business than he could have ever learned in college. Matt believes that my mental health really took a toll after my dad passed. I completely bottled up my emotions for years, especially after my mom passed. After the latter experiences 2 years ago, I couldn't work, was uninspired, and I was at my lowest point. I truly believe in the power of plant therapy because it's one of the few things that got me out of my funk and inspired my new business. While I felt like I was dying inside, the one thing that helped me was stepping outside and watching the garden around me grow. Our business is rooted in plant therapy, mental health, and in honor of Matt's parents. In October 2018, he lost his mother to cancer. The pain and grief from her suffering and passing left him unable to work, let alone go through the day to day. At the time, the only solace I found was in gardening. I can continue to go on and read about that, but I really think it's really important for us to dive in and really understand how how plants has transformed his life. And wherever you are right now, we're in such a dismal time. First of all, wherever you are, stop what you're doing and just give a hand, a clap, a round of applause for this amazing hero that we have in front of us, Matt Day. Welcome, Matt. Welcome to the platform. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm doing just fine. Cheryl, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I have you here, Matt. And I'm going to tell you, Matt, the first day that I met you, which was actually at the Culinary Collective, Rain put
Mhm.
on, and along with a host of other individuals who I love and adore, Nicole Felix. And there's a couple of other individuals that are just amazing. And I got a chance to meet you. And I'm going to tell you, you have this booth. And as soon as I walked in, the plants just called me. I'm Matt, and it didn't take me 2 seconds. Like, I want that one, and we bought it, and that was the end of the day. And I was like, I need you on this platform. So I'm so excited to have you and just share with the world the work that you're doing. But Matt, I always start off the platform and ask the question. You gotta help me out here, Matt. What are you passionate about?
Oh my gosh. I'm passionate about a lot of things. I'm passionate about plants, because plants got me through a lot in life. When my mom was in the hospital, battling cancer, which eventually took her in 2 months, um, I couldn't think, I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. My life was just completely on hold. And so I started digging in the dirt. I started landscaping my front lawn, with my partner, Yumi. And then we started building a garden, an oasis in our backyard. And then we started filling the inside of the house with plants and just caring for them. It was cathartic and it was healing. And so I truly, truly believe in the power of plant therapy. And I started Planner Day because I wanted to share it with the world.
Oh my God. One of the things I don't know about my listeners out there. And remember, this is not meant to be a monologue. This is meant to be a dialogue. So the more questions you ask, the more authentic and engaging we can get to really take this to deep level. So please do engage in conversations. But Matt, I love plants. And I've always been a firm believer in their healing properties. But especially going through this pandemic, there's so much negativity around us right now, Matt. You specifically have talked about grieving, which I think is one of the hardest. I think there's a lot of hard things to go through, but the loss of a parent, a child, a loved one, no matter if you knew or you didn't know, no matter if they're young or old, it's just a hard thing to come to reality. So share with me how I love plants. I know what they do for me, but tell me what the gardening did. What did it do for you? How did it transform you enough to take the step to start this business? Like, 'cause that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, it was a long journey and a process because I had a really good career. I was working in tech, I was a technical recruiter. I was a technical recruiting manager at a healthcare startup. I had a great job, and once my mom got sick and passed, I gave that all up. It was a six-figure salary. It was really good. And then, after she passed, I started working at a plant shop, minimum wage. And you know what? I needed a break from the world, and I was completely happy. And after a while, my boss there, my coworkers, it was right here in Oakland too, the plant store, Ace Grand Lake. Um, They taught me everything I needed to know about plants. We repotted plants together. We were selecting plants from different growers and finding out what grows in different regions and things like that. And all of these things just inspired me, and it showed me a whole new world. Because before that, my world was just, I'm a technical recruiter. I recruit engineers for startups and this and that, and that was kind of like my mindset in my world. But now I'm blending the two together, and so it's just helped me really expand my mindset and really see a bigger picture. And there's got to be purpose to whatever I'm doing. I feel like, right? I don't just want to sell plants. After I started working at the plant store, learned everything I could. I'm very, very, very thankful for that. I wanted to start my own plant shop. You know, um, but it was tough. I didn't have a brand. I didn't have anything. There were some people, some business, like landowners who wouldn't give me a lease because they were like, what are you going to bring to this neighborhood? I didn't really have anything, so I bought my own trailer. I souped it up with lights and put some shelves in it. Got some reclaimed wood, and I started partnering with businesses all around Oakland, selling plants in front of their shops. So Tacos Oscar, Hella Bagels, Hidden Cafe, Red Bay Coffee, Temescal Brewing, partnering with these folks and pairing plants with other things, to make it fun and healing for everybody. Because I just wanted to share everything, all of the healing. So then I got an opportunity to start a brick and mortar, in the Rock Ridge district here in Oakland. And
Congratulations! That's huge. And you
thank
just
you.
had your first launch, right? Just
Yep, yeah. We've been open for about a month now on College Ave here in Oakland, and
what's
it's
your address? What is it? What is the address?
it's 6004 College Ave, right here in the town. And the neighborhood has been so welcoming, and it's been great. And I got to share also that because of my experience with my father committing suicide. Uh, a portion of every plant purchase goes directly to CSS Alameda County. They're a nonprofit suicide prevention hotline. They're based right here in Oakland. They help Alameda County, where I was born and raised. And I just want to help local, because if we water our own garden, we all grow.
Oh my God, you have just said a mouthful. CSS, it's called CSS, right? Nonprofit Suicide Prevention. Well, that's really
That's right.
my heart goes out to you first of all because I understand this all too well without going into detail, but I had a nephew who committed suicide, and I'm going to tell you something. It leaves your heart really broken. I mean, you're already broken if anybody passes from natural causes, let alone because they chose to take their own lives. And right now, Matt, in all sincerity, we are really in some very dismal times. And people are trying to, number one, re-navigate this new terrain, how to live in a world where people want masks, some people don't want masks, how to live in a world where we need to get vaccinated against the unvaccinated, how we live in a world we have Afghanistan and, releasing people from, and then we have the, COVID, then we have, businesses going out of, right now, the weight of the world is so heavy that I feel that we all need tools. We all need tools in which to help us. And I'd love to get your feedback on how you see plants really truly helping you sustain. Because Matt, I can tell you my own story about what I believe, which I will after you answer the question. But But how do you see plants benefiting? I know what you said about you and your partner and how building these gardens truly helped you. But Matt, when you're grieving and you're hurting, and to tell me, oh Cheryl, a plant's gonna help me. Like Cheryl, yeah, go buy a plant. You're gonna feel better. I'd like to dig a little deeper. I'd like to pull that onion back a little bit and have you kind of share,
Yeah.
how that does help.
Yeah, so from one perspective, there a lot there are a lot of plants that have specific air cleaning properties. And when you buy your new couch or your stuff from Amazon, they spray them with flame retardant materials, benzene, formaldehyde, things like that. All of that stuff comes into your own house. A lot of people are moving these days too because we can all work remotely. So people are moving like crazy everywhere, buying new furniture, unpacking this and that. And all of that stuff, you breathe it in and it stays in your house. And plants, like snake plants, pothos vines, they absorb these toxins out of the air and release fresh oxygen into your house. That's one healing way. But also just digging, repotting a plant is the most relaxing thing in the world to me. I'll be perfectly honest, because you can get intimate with your plant and know exactly how the roots are growing. And then it just makes you appreciate more, every new frond that comes out of these palms behind me, every new flower that comes out of the plant, you grew that. You grew that. And it gives me a sense of pride. You're growing and cultivating, and when the plants grow little pups and little plant babies, you can share them with friends, so that it's the gift that keeps on giving. You can take clippings and share it with people, and that plant that you shared with them, that's a piece of you that they can continue to carry with them, and grow. It's a relationship that you can spread. It's so many reasons.
Oh my God, Matt, thank you for sharing that. And Matt, a part of my platform is obviously I want to equip people with tools and resources that can help them manage through everyday turbulence and problems. And I'm a firm believer in plants and their healing properties. As a matter of fact, Matt, I did a little homework on my own to figure out like what are the benefits of plants. And I came up with 11, Matt. One is stress reduction. It's reduced symptoms of depression, stronger memory intention, fewer symptoms of post-traumatic stress, improved symptoms of attention deficit disorder, ADD, which I have, higher productivity, improved concentration in school and workplaces, higher levels of creativity, fewer symptoms of dementia, and higher intellect, better self-esteem, and greater quality of life overall. Those are the 11 I came up with now. Those are the 11. All of them, Matt, honest to goodness, work for me. Every last one of them worked for me.
Yes, absolutely. I believe because I've benefited from every single one that you listed on there. And honestly, if you Google like plant therapy university studies, there are researchers, diving into these topics and figuring out how to de-stress people or relieve anxiety, depression, and things like that through plants. Oh yeah, it's real.
Yes, it really is real. And one of the things that you mentioned early on was not only the therapy, something about when you touch dirt with your fingers, it does something to you spiritually. I can't even begin to explain. But also when you talk about oxygenating your room. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do, especially with the pandemic. I wanted to breathe clear and fresh air. And one of the things I know it does oxygenate. I don't know if I'm saying the word correctly. Am I saying it correctly? Oxygenate. Okay, we're gonna let it go, but you know what I mean. It creates more oxygen within the room and the air, and the more plants you have, definitely does that. I'm
Yes.
going to switch the conversation, Matt, because I want people to understand what the benefits are, but I also want them to understand as an entrepreneur, there's two sides of this equation. You are an entrepreneur and you created this business in the middle of the pandemic. Like, Matt, what was your struggle in doing that while people were going out of business, you were starting a business? So I'd love for you to share with us, because I have a lot of entrepreneurs in my platform that I speak to, and always trying to encourage them as they go through this pandemic how to survive, not only survive but thrive. And so, how did you start this business? How, what was it that led you finally to just make it happen, to pull the trigger?
Oh man, there's Ooh, just thinking about it is exhausting. Everything we've had to overcome. All we've done this whole time while trying to start Planner Day is overcome obstacles, and it's given us thick skin. But when I quit my job as a recruiter in tech, not these days. I'll preface it by saying I do both jobs now. I work at a mental health company called Ginger, and I run Planner Day. My partner Yumi runs the shop during the days. But when I first started it, I had quit my job and I could not go back to work. And so I had this idea. Nobody would rent me a store because I didn't have a business yet. But I was like, I want to start a plant store. I want to start a plant store. What can I do? So I got a wholesaler license. I ordered a bunch of. I went plant shopping, and I had like a living room full of plants. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to Lake Merritt in Oakland, and I'm just gonna sell these plants like all the other vendors out there. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sell these plants. The week that I was planning to go out to sell those plants, right? The first shelter in place order hit, and Gavin Newsom was like, everybody stay in, no vendors, no nothing. And I was sitting in a house full of. I was like, okay, well, this is fortuitous. I mean, is the universe trying to tell me that I shouldn't start this business? I have a house full of plants that I wanted to sell, and now nobody can do anything in the world. What's going on, man? Come on. But then I had to switch. So I took pictures of every single plant, and I turned them into a PDF, and I sent them out to all my family and friends. And I was like, hey, I got all these plants. Is anybody interested? And I created a newsletter. And so people started sharing that newsletter. And before you know it, I started doing deliveries all across the Bay Area. People were requesting plants. I was selling plants. And I was like, okay, wait, this is archaic. Why do I have a newsletter? I need a website. But I didn't have a job at the time. I was just selling plants. So I said, okay, you know what? Instagram is free. I don't need a website. Instagram will be my catalog. So I started posting pictures on Instagram, all the plants I'm selling, DM me for purchase. And I had a Google sheet that people could order from because it was free and I was unemployed. And so the orders started coming in, and throughout the pandemic. And then finally, when the shelter in place order was lifted and it was safe to go out again, I brought my trailer out, and I rented a parking lot. I rented a spot in a parking lot around the corner from my house in East Oakland at the time, and so I paid $100 a day, to do pop-ups at that parking lot, and it was a busy intersection on the corner of MacArthur and Coolidge, and a lot of people showed up, to show love. A lot of people heard about us through Instagram, and it took off from there. Business owners started hearing about Planner Day, and then they started inviting me to do pop-ups with them. Yeah.
No, but you just said a mouthful there. And I hope wherever you are, you have a notepad, pencil, paper, whether you're watching it now or later, to take notes. Because a part of this is about educating you and giving you tools to help transform you. This is not just to have conversation for conversation's sake. I talk to too many people who are struggling mentally, emotionally, spiritually, trying to be their best self. What I just heard you say, Matt, was so empowering. Number one, what you said, what I heard you say is that while you had a vision and you had a passion and you had a dream and you stepped out on faith, which this is all about, the faith is a substance of the evidence of things hoped for, and the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things unseen. You didn't see it with your physical eye, but you decided, hey, I got all these plants. I'm going to go to the lake. I'm going to sell these plants. I'm going to sell them at the lake. And then Gavin Newsom shut everything down, saying everybody need to be shelter in place. You didn't let that stop you. And as an entrepreneur, I think one of the things that's so hard is that they call it the valley of death. Between the idea and the manifestation of the idea, there's this in between state that really stops most entrepreneurs in their tracks. And the thing I want to say to my audience, listen well. Don't make this to be again a monologue. This is a dialogue to help infuse you with tools. And he just gave them. Don't you let anything stop you from your dream. What is your dream? What do you hope for? And the thing about it is, Matt, you know the saddest part? That I think we're waiting for somebody to come save us. And Matt, we are the savior. You were your savior. You know how you were your savior? Who you surrounded yourself with. Number one, who was in your ear, Matt? Who was telling you that you could or you couldn't? Secondly, okay, so Gavin shut the economy down or shut the world down because he was trying to manage this pandemic. You went online. You used the tools that you had to help you continue to tell the story until a better day has come. And I just want to say to entrepreneurs out there, I pour my heart to you. I come to you weekly. I'm not coming here because it's the Cheryl Grant show. Okay, it kind of is the Cheryl Grant show, but that's not what it's about. It's about me bringing people like Matt and all of the other individuals that I brought to tell you a story and to inspire you and to uplift you and to encourage you. Please do take that away. And please do take what he's saying away, because if you have a dream, don't you dare let somebody stop you from your dream. And Matt, you said something to me that was also so powerful. This was in our pre-interview. And you said there were so many people. You're on college. You're on College Avenue in Oakland. Competition is fierce. But what did you tell me, Matt? Because they need to hear this. And they need to hear that out and clear. What did you tell me?
Oh man, yes. It was one of the best pieces of advice that I got. And it was that as long as you do you, there's room for everybody. You do you. You beat to your own drum. My friend Andy from Hidden Cafe told me that over in Berkeley.
I have a
You
dear
know,
her name is
there's
Tamara.
room for everybody.
I'm sorry to break you. I have a girlfriend, Tamara, who does this Do You retreat. And that is her message, do you. And Matt, that's what you're saying. So go on. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, I love that message, and I'm glad we have that connection because it's so true. Like, you got to beat to your own drum. There's so many opportunities to doubt yourself, to have imposter syndrome. Like, oh, like I didn't grow up in a farming family or anything like that, but my interest is pure, and what I want to share with people is what I love. I want to spread what I love with people, and so it doesn't matter. So you just got to do you every day. Every day.
Yes, do you. Did you hear that? Do you. Tamara, we're using your famous words, do you, because I think that we do individually have to do us. And one of the things that Matt also said, and Matt, that just tells you, Matt, when you talk to me, I'm listening because I'm listening for that tidbit of information as an entrepreneur too. It's not easy for me either, and I think it's so easy for us to get caught up in comparison. Like you said, the imposter syndrome, or comparing ourselves to others, or I'm not good enough, or how can I possibly make this out of a living? And I think if more of us realize that we have more power within us than we will ever realize, the Bible speaks, and I'm a firm believer in the Bible. And for those of you not, I'm not mad at you. I'm just telling you where I stand. And it says, "Greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world." If I allow the things that are outside of me to stop me, I would never be doing the work that I'm doing right now. If I allow the voices inside my head, sometimes when I look around me and I see so many other people doing similar or like things, but I know that the greatest gift that I have is in my ability to empower and uplift others. And that's what this platform is about. I don't care if there's 100,000 people doing the same exact things that I'm doing. There's nobody that's going to do it like Cheryl Grant. This is the Cheryl Grant Show. This is Bit Live, which is really, my rendition of how to inspire you. But wherever you get that from, tap into that. Maybe it's not this platform, it's another one, but tap into wherever it is that's going to fuel you, that's going to uplift you, that's going to empower you. And I hope that you will really listen to Matt and everything that he has shared with us thus far about his journey. And Matt, you alluded to early, and I think that there's a lot of people that see us, Matt, and we make things look so easy. I've been told that. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, you look like you don't have any problems. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, oh, Cheryl, everything's always perfect. You're always on, like, not so much. Do you know that I work at this every single day? It's not a day that goes by that I am not putting in 100%. And so, Matt, I'd like you to share really, right now, I'm going to take it a little level deeper. I just keep trying to take it down a little notch in hopes that wherever you are, that your cord will touch somebody else exactly where they are, that might inspire them. And I want you to think of a time that when you were at your lowest point. When you were at your lowest point, what did you do, Matt? What was it that triggered you to continue forward? If you can think of an incident that you could share, or you want to speak in generalities, that's okay. Either way works for me. But anything you can share in that report.
Oh my gosh, Cheryl. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a personal story. I'm saying it here. I haven't even told some of my closest friends. This one day, I was standing over my mother's grave, crying like a baby because I didn't know what to do with my life. I quit my job. I was trying to start this plant business that I didn't know what the heck was going on. There was a pandemic, Meanwhile, like, both of my parents have passed away. And my brother, I'm his caretaker, So if I don't provide for, my family, and myself, I have nothing to fall back on. No parents, no support from my brother, no nothing. I mean, and at the same time, I was dealing with my own addiction and depression issues. I was standing over my mom's grave with a bottle of my favorite stuff, and that day, I just kind of had to turn myself around. It was my lowest point, and I from there I went through, some addiction treatment, and got my business back on track. This is all during the pandemic too, as of recent. I got myself clean, and realized that I need to, if the greatest lesson that my mom taught me was that help starts at home, right? Help starts at home. And that means two things that are very, very important to me. If you don't help yourself, you can't help others. And me standing over her grave with, uh, you know, uh, substances that were not healthy for me, and just going down that hole was not good. Because if I can't run Planet A, then I can't give back to my community. If I can't run Planet A, I cannot give back to. I cannot promote suicide awareness and mental health, especially among people of color. You know, because there's a big stigma around it in Black and Brown communities. And which is why my dad didn't seek help. Which is why my dad killed himself. But help starts at home. It starts with you. You got to help yourself before you can help others. And then on a grander scale, help starts at home in your community. If you foster your relationships with all the people around you and watch everybody else grow, we come up together. And and I didn't know the power of that until I started Planner Day, and all my customers became friends and started sharing amazing stories about how healing plants were for them. And we started partnering with the CSS, Crisis Support Services of Alameda County, and learning about all the lives they're touching. So it's really trying to just create a movement and spread goodness to others.
Oh my God. First of all, that touches my heart, just so you know. First of all, because I think authenticity is everything. And I think it's so wonderful that I create the platform, and I love my daughter. She comes in and she does my makeover, and she does my hair, and then she styles me, make sure I look good. And that has nothing to do with going on within the inside of you. And even those that are of us that are really made up, we walk through life like there's this perfect road. There's no such thing. We all have tried. We all have things that we need to go through in order to get to the other side. As a matter of fact, I think without the bad, we can't get to the good. I think that sometimes you need to go through something to get to the other side, because that is your testimony. That becomes your story. Everybody wants to celebrate the glory, but they want to talk about the story. They don't want to talk about what it took to get here. And anybody who's done anything for any amount of gratitude, whether it's been marriage for 28 years, you have to go through something. Whether it means to get your physical fitness body. You don't get mad at the girl when you see her on stage and she got a six pack. She worked for that six pack. You don't know what she went through with the eating, whether it be with a something like you said, an addiction. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling with addiction, and it's a shameful thing. Why? Because we as a society has made it that way. But if we really get real, we all struggle with something. The question is not the struggle. That's not the question. We focus on it, but it's not. It really is, how do you transition? And what you said was really a testimony. It really was, Matt. You said, I watched my dad. I watched my mother. I was going through it myself. And if I couldn't help me, then how can I help others? How can I find a way to give back to them if I can't get back to myself? And you also said something else that was really meaningful for me, and that's about community. I believe community is the new currency. Period. End of story. And the sooner that we grab onto that as a society, the better off we'll be. The one thing that I think the Black and Brown community has forgotten is about community. What makes us strong is our strengths. Our differences is what makes us stronger. It's not our comparison, or you have that or I have this. It's like, how do we build collectively to build together? How do I create a platform where we share together? It's not about me, it's about us. It truly is about us. And when we get that as a society, it's not about what she wore, what her makeup is, or like that. Is so freaking superficial. It's about the heart. Where's your heart right now? Where are you in sharing this information that somebody, it could save their lives? It could be somebody that's your family member that you don't even know that's going through it. By hearing words from that can really truly transform their lives, to understand they're not the only one who is going through something. If we don't share with each other, then what? If we don't have each other as a community, I'm speaking from my heart right now, then what? What is it going to take for us to come back together, understanding we don't need anybody to support us, support each other? If you can go buy a pair of Louis Vuittons, if you're Black or a person of color, which we are consumers, and I'm not opposed to it, then there's a Black designer out there somewhere that you can support. There's something else we can do. It's in our little steps. It doesn't even have to be major. It's how do we support? You now know about Matt Day. He has a plant business on College Avenue. Next time you go buy a plant, don't buy from Costco. Yeah, I said it, and I meant it. So for all the people who work for Costco, I am not being apologetic. I'm speaking from my heart right now. We have to support each other. If we don't start doing it now, then I really do, I have major concern for us as a people. How do we support each other? How do you support this platform? Another, and it's not about an either or. I really believe that collectively we can make a difference. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to go on a tangent there, y'all, but it is what it is.
That is okay. I loved hearing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Matt, because not everybody is willing to share, truly share the struggles that they go through to get to where they are. We only see the glory, so we see, Michael Jordan at his best, or Kobe Bryant at his best. But if anybody has ever studied their stories and know what they did and how their work ethic was, and what they did to put into the game that they had committed to, then you'll understand why they were great. And I want to say to each of you who are listening to me right now, I believe we're all great. I believe we're all born for greatness. I don't believe that I'm any better than anybody else. I believe, like Matt said earlier, do you. Do the best version of you, because that's all I do every week when I show up. It's my best version of Cheryl Grant. And I try to bring it to you raw. I try to bring it to you real. And I try to bring you stories that I know can make an impact in your life. And Matt J is now amongst so many others that I have spoken to, and so many others that I have yet to speak to. And Matt, like, you're here today, and one of the things I want to say is, Matt, we're here to support you. We want to see you thrive, Matt. So I want to ask you the question, Matt, how can we support you?
You know, uh, I appreciate that, and I'm the worst at self promotion. You know what I'm saying? But come buy some plants. You know, come buy some plants, and you know what? A portion of all proceeds go directly back into helping others out of mental health crises. And it's not just about buying plants. Donate directly to crisis support services of Alameda County, because suicide, you know, my father was a black man in a white collar job in an all white office, and he committed suicide in his office. And I don't know what racism he faced. I don't know what nepotism he faced. As a black man in a white office in the '90s in Silicon Valley, but I know it wasn't good. I know it wasn't good, and so mental health and reaching out for help and healing yourself with whatever therapy that you can is going to be the most important. That's how you can support me, by supporting yourself. Forget about the plants. Just, and also I'll say one thing, just taking your struggles and not, I'm victim to this, right? I took my struggles and I drowned myself in a lot of bad substances because I thought the world was against me. But it's how you overcome those struggles and share, that strength with the world that'll really define you. Not all that bad stuff, right? All those bad memories. So just turn that mindset around, turn those struggles into empowerment. That's how you can help me. Do it for
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh my God, Matt, support yourself. I added that line, Matt, just so you know. Support yourself and buy a plant. And where do you it, you buy it at planterday.com. That's what you do. And for every plant that you purchase through Matt, a percentage of that goes, like he already said, to the crisis support services of Alameda County to help others who combat either substance abuse or thoughts of suicide. So you're giving to a great cause. It's doing great work in the community. Matt, I applaud you in everything that you do. But now, okay, so now I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it again. Change it again. I'm always changing it, Matt, because we got to keep it real. We got to keep it raw. Matt, what's that plant behind you? Because I already told you, I want one of those. I want one of those.
This is a Majesty Palm, very majestic. It's a smaller indoor house plant. They grow to about 8 feet tall indoors, and they have light green leaves. They're very, very beautiful. And this right here, this is a Kencha palm with a K, and it has bigger, dark green, thick, luscious fronds. And I got one of these in my house, draping over the couch. And every time I sit back on the couch and watch TV, I feel like I'm back in Hawaii, like a kid. So, you can transform any little corner, any little whatever. In my kitchen window, I got two plants hanging down, just so when I am doing the dishes, I feel like I'm in an oasis, because I just want to make everything I do exciting. Why wash dishes in a regular sink when I can wash dishes in a jungle? Why watch TV on a couch when I can watch TV in my mind in Hawaii all the time? I'm just trying to transform wherever I'm at, and bring a new mindset into just making the boring spectacular.
Well, Matt, I definitely want that. I don't know between the majestic and the Kincha. Is it what it called, Kinchi?
Kencha, yeah.
Yeah, I think I want the Kincha plant. I'm gonna have to get that one from you. I've already got one which I love, but I need to transplant it now. So, and then I have another one I probably could use your help on. I've had it for over 20 years, and it's in the same pot, and it's a beautiful ficus tree. But it's time for me to break the shell and really try. And I'm afraid too, because it's so big that I don't know how. I don't, because it's so big. It's so big. And it's in my living room right now, but I got to figure that one out. And then the other thing is, you got to be careful, everybody. I'm just going to leave you with this too, is because sometimes we read on the internet all these anecdotal ways in which to take care of your plant. And I have my girlfriend, and I'm not going to mention her name because I love her dearly. She's like, oh my God, you need to crush up some eggshells, Cheryl, and get some ground coffee grounds that you've already put in your coffee maker and put in your plant. And oh my God, the soil is going to be so amazing. Matt, what do you say to that remedy?
Yeah. So that's like, you can create the nutrients as those materials break down. As you water each time, will absorb into the soil, and your plants will soak it up and love it. Compost is good stuff. We used to have a huge compost bin in our old place, and we'd throw all the eggshells, all the coffee grounds. We make coffee every morning, fresh ground coffee, in there. And especially for our outdoor plants, our tomatoes were popping, zucchini. I didn't have to go to Trader Joe's or Farmer Joe's for months, while we had our garden growing. So definitely save the food waste. Just don't throw chicken bones in there.
Okay, you heard this, and you heard it first from our very own Matt. And I've asked Matt Day. I asked him. He's not ready right now. I don't think he has a bandwidth to do it, but I told him it would be really awesome, you guys, if he did house calls, right? I think that would be so cool to do. And maybe as his business grows and he's able to quit his day job along with what he does here, then that may be something that he may be able to do. So, Matt, I have another question that I don't want you to answer, but I'm going to pose it to you, okay? So just all I want you to do is think about it, and then I got some announcements that I want to make to my platform, and then after that, then you can definitely address the question. And The question that I want you to, that I have is, if you could leave the audience, leave my platform with one piece of advice, what would that advice be? And so that's what I want you. Don't answer that right now. Don't answer it. Just think about it. Don't answer it. I'll tell you an answer. Don't answer it right now. So, everybody, I want to say one of the things I love about what I do on this platform is that I get an opportunity to interview some of the most amazing people from around the globe. And we have more in store for you. We're only going to get bigger and better. I am so grateful for this opportunity. And I just have to thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up for me every week, for those phone calls, those email messages, the text messages, telling me how valuable the work that I'm doing and how important it is to you. I'd like to ask you, you can support me by either subscribing to my YouTube channel, which I would so appreciate, sharing that with your platform, or either liking me on Instagram, follow me on any of my Facebooks. I have Cheryl Grant. I think my personal is full, but Cheryl Grant Daily. I would welcome you to follow me on that. If you feel compelled to give a donation, please do. You can go to my website, which is www.cherylgrant.com. I'll put that up there for you. I want to say to you, I am so fortunate to be able to work with the people that I work with. I have some amazing team members that are also volunteer for me to do some amazing work. And I don't know what I would do without them. And every week when I come up from online, I want to say thank you, John Tate Grant. Thank you, Zy Warren. Thank you, Andrew Stanley. Thank you, Ebony Creighton. Thank you to my good friend, Jazz Collin. Thank you to Teresa Wyatt Sonley. Thank you to every Dejan Grant. Thank you, because the work that I do, I can't do it alone. This is not one of those jobs that I can just do it all by myself. It truly does take a team, and they are supporting me from so many different aspects. I want to thank my makeup artist, Dominique. She's known as Nichelle B. You can follow her on Instagram. I want to thank my photographer, Jennifer Marvin, whom I absolutely love and adore. I want to thank Joelle, who just joined my team, and she just recently got an intern with Steph Curry's studios in LA. And Joelle Amorosa, she's amazing. She's on board. And I have a mentoring platform that is extending beyond. And I can't thank these individuals enough, because they support me, because they believe in the work that I'm doing. And our goal this year is to reach 50 million women. I cannot do that alone. I cannot do that alone, but with your help, I can. If you believe in what I'm doing, then please do go to my website. Join the group. You'll get the newsletter, as well as you'll stay abreast of all the things that we have planned for you between now and the end of the year. And with this new variant that's coming out, we're being very mindful. Our goal was to do some live events, some hybrid events, doing it so that some people could come. We still want to do that, but I am very, very cognizant of what's going on in the world around us. So we're kind of, in the air with it. What is the best method and to make that happen? But I just want you to know that I'm committed to this platform. I'm committed to the work that I'm doing. And the reason that I do it is not simply because I want to come on every day. I mean, I do want to come on, but I also want to share these people with you. But I have a motto, and I want you to be real clear about what I do. If you don't know what I do, I'm about women empowerment. I'm about training. I'm about education. But my platform is about, I don't want to give you a handout. I don't want to give you a handout. My grandfather taught me early on when I was a little girl. He's up here somewhere on one of these pictures behind me. And he said, if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. I want to leave a legacy that I'm helping people from around the world to be able to feed themselves for a lifetime. So what do? I extend an arm, not a hand. And an arm is access, resources, and mentorship. Access, resources, and mentorship. That's what an arm is. Join me. Help me in reaching 50 million women around the globe. And I have a lot of people who've already signed up, and I need you to do that. So I really want to ask you for your support. I want to ask you to continue to chime in these conversations, tag a friend. It costs you nothing to do that. If you got value from it, so will they. So I really want to encourage you to tag a friend to join us in this dialogue so they can learn ways how plants can help them, so that they can learn ways of how to be an entrepreneur in a world that would seem like you can't. This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to be your best. So with that said, I want to say next week, I'm going to have DB Bedford on with emotional intelligence. You do not want to miss that. Every time I bring it, we keep bringing it, and we bring it strong, and we bring it hard, and it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. But it can only help you if you take advantage of it. If not, then it falls on deaf ears. We want the seeds to grow. We want them to prosper, and we want you to be your most amazing self. I also want to send a shout out to the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. I sit on the board of directors, and I'm honored to sit on the board as the vice chair. It's an amazing organization. We raised last year $1 million in resiliency fund, and it really does take a community to do that work. No one individual can do that. It takes an effort of a team. I want to ask you, if you're an entrepreneur, join. You want to take access, more to come. So you want to make sure you're on that train. It's a minimal investment for what you're going to get in the long term. Again, we're here to uplift, inspire you. Please take advantage of all these resources that are available to help you as an entrepreneur, as a woman in corporate America. With that said, okay, I'm going to swing back now. Okay, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm always ready.
The question that I asked Matt was, if he could leave you guys with guys and gals, with one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
It would be, I don't know if this is going to sound like one piece, but it was the most important.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was the most important piece for me is finding your tribe, your unit, your people who believe in you. Because my lovely girlfriend Yumi, she runs a tight ship, and she won't let me slack off. She won't let me do nothing, and she makes me the best that I can be every day. She pays attention to detail. She was a second grade teacher in East Oakland, dealing with a lot of tough stuff, in OUSD. And she's just the most amazing woman ever. And she took a leave of absence from teaching to help me run this business. I mean, she wants to see us succeed, and if I'm lazy in any way, she'll be on me. She'll be on me. So, but she believes in me. You know what? And you can't put a price on that. So find your tribe, and you will go far with them.
Oh my God, you just said so much in that. So to Yumi, I want to say to you, we love you, Yumi. Because of you, we have Matt Day and we have Planter Day, where we can go get plants that can help us in our daily lives. So thank you, Yumi. We appreciate you. And I always say, behind every good man is a good woman. So, there you go, Matt. You got a good woman. So congratulations to you. I also want to say to the audience, you just learned something very valuable. He said, find your tribe. Matt, my shero is Harriet Tubman. And I've said it on my platform so much, my audience probably gets sick of this, but I really don't care, because she truly is my shero. And she's my shero because if you look back in the time that she was living, in a time where they were literally lynching you for just the color of your skin, it doesn't matter. We're still having issues with the color of our skin, which that's a whole nother story that I still can't put my head around. I really can't. Like, it's just amazing me. You hate for what? But anyway, with that said, she went and she freed them. And the thing is, she freed herself first. But Matt, she didn't stop there. She went back and she freed thousands more. And she said, I would have freed more of them if they would have only known that they were slaves. And when you talk about a tribe and doing what we do, and it goes back to what I said earlier, community is everything. You guys, I think our ancestors showed us the way. We just need to go back and get the blueprint. And the blueprint is together, we are always stronger than we are separately. There's an old African adage that says if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. It's time to go far. It's time to start using this platform to uplift us and really take heed to the words that are being said, and don't let it fall on deaf ears. Don't do like this. Don't act like you don't hear. No, take this knowledge and build and continue to build. Go support somebody. Go support somebody in a business that's Black and of color, that you can help them thrive. Help them. Because through you, I'm telling you, we can make a difference in the world. And we can't change the minds of those who choose to hate. Can't change that. I'm not even trying anymore. If that's where your mantra is and that's where you are, I guess I gotta leave you where you are. I'm picking up the bandwagon with like minds. That's the tribe. People who think like you and believe like you, hear like you, and speak like you. And let's go live the most awesome lives we can. Let's leave that in the past, because all that is noise to me. I'm over it. I'm over it. Anything else you'd like to say, Matt? We run out of time.
I just want to thank you, Cheryl, for how we met. Was so very organic. Thanks to Red Door Catering for throwing their beautiful event, and you showing up was so fortuitous. And buying a plant from me, and us texting about some plant care, and so I just love how organic all of this has been. And thank you for sharing your space with me. I appreciate it.
Well, Matt, I want to say thank you and continue the great work and continue to stand strong. We need you, Matt, and we need your story. And it is the glory is in your story. It is in the journey. So I thank you for owning it and just being it and being the most amazing man that you are. And continue to strive. We got you, okay? Got you.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Go support Matt. God bless everybody. It's always a blessing to talk to you. Log on to what is it? YouTube. Log on to YouTube. Bye. God bless Matt. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.